Let me just put that down.
Hey, I love this story, so does Adnan. Abuse of the English language or simply keeping up with the youth, the kids. You know, Scrabble is adding 6,500 new words to its new dictionary, and they may not be immediately familiar. How about obs, lols, and shizzle, for example? We're going to chat about all of this in a moment and discuss what some of those words mean. But first, let's just take a quick look at the return of the big business of board games, because sales of classic board games are booming as the industry has seen a resurgence, with sales up 10% in 2014. Total revenue, so all the money those board games made, now tops $1.5 billion a year. And it's not all about the new digitally enhanced games. The property, board game Monopoly, has seen sales soar by 15%. And for budding doctors, you got to remember this, if you're old enough. The classic Operation game, it's up 40%. Now, let's find out from some of our viewers what they thought about the new words being added to the Scrabble dictionary. Take a listen.
The language is changing and people are saying these words, so it's used in common language. So it probably, yeah, it's right to put them in.
I don't like it, to be honest with you, because I was brought up to use proper grammar.
Onesie, yes.
You think onesie?
Yeah, because you can go buy a onesie.
You can, but it's a bit colloquial. Isn't it supposed to be a game that teaches people to read and write properly?
It's a load of rubbish, no? Just play the game as it was meant.
No.
No!
Because that's a shortened version of ridiculous, so definitely not.
Okay, there you go, mixed reviews. Let's get more. Elaine Higgleton is a language expert at the publisher Harper Collins. Elaine, great to have you with us in the studio. I keep saying Adnan, my co-presenter, he loves this. He's a bit of a logophile. So,
great.
Adnan, come over here, come and join us. I want you to talk to Elaine as well. Now, while he's coming over, Elaine, let me ask you this. Let's start with, I was looking at some of these words, and for most of them, yeah, probably most of them, the meaning hasn't changed. They're just kind of abbreviated. I'm wondering if that's almost lazy English, or is it the advent of social media, the technology, where we're just doing a lot of this?
I think the fact that we've got social media and we've got technology and we want to communicate quickly is affecting how we spell words within the social media environment. The fact that we abbreviate ridiculous to ridic is absolutely fine when you're texting or you're emailing and you're on Twitter. You wouldn't necessarily do it if you're writing something formal.
But we see that, don't we? Don't we see that in kids' essays?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Kids will say it. Yeah.
They teach us a new language, don't they? And
they do.
There's something about English. I speak a few Latin-based languages, and people always describe those as being purer, right? The English is a more evolving language, that it comes from a mixture of other languages. Therefore, is there something in English that makes it easier to invent and manipulate words?
Yeah, English has always been a very acquisitive language. It's got a history of over 2,000 years, and if we had somebody from 2,000 years ago sitting here talking to us, we wouldn't understand them, but we're nominally speaking the same language. Every time the English language comes into contact with another language, it takes words in, and it takes words in because they fill a useful slot in that language. So if you think about 1066, the Norman conquest, the French came over, brought us lots of food words. Before 1066, we had the word cow, described the animal in the field and the animal dead on your plate.
Yes.
The French brought us beef, bœuf. Right. So that word comes in, fills a useful slot in the language. Then sometimes we use words from other languages because we want to pretend that we're more educated, which is another reason why we've got loads of French words. Commence. In the 13th century, if you wanted to sound educated, you would use commence instead of the Anglo-Saxon word begin, because you kind of wanted to use it for its snob value. That's another reason why language changes.
That's interesting. Let me, but we're not seeing certainly of that style or that type of word being used today. We've got the board here. We've made a few of them. Take us through. I want maybe some of your favourites and what they mean. We've got shizzle. Shizzle is good, but it also can be a bad word, right?
That's right.
I don't think we can.
I don't even know what it means, actually.
Shizzle, great.
Right.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
the shizzle, great, right?
Yeah.
If you just say shizzle, it means
it's rude.
Yeah, it's the swear word for poo.
Right.
Okay, I think I can say that. We've got cash.
Cash,
We've got
yeah, short for casual. Lols. originally laughing out loud,
Yeah.
used as a text abbreviation,
Yeah.
but it's actually changed its meaning slightly. It's now used slightly ironically, so it's occupying a slightly different space. One of my favourites is spelt XED, and it's said crossed. And it's when you put a cross against something in a list.
Yeah.
And that's going to be great for Scrabble. See, that's going to be great for Scrabble because it's got an X and it's only a short word. Very good for getting rid of the X at the end of the game.
The thing is, lols isn't a word, because if lols is a word, then RFLMAO is a word. Do you know what that means? Rolling on the floor, laughing my off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
In other words, it's hilarious.
Well, this is an interesting...
That's not a word, is it?
That's an interesting question. Do you have to be able to pronounce it for it to be a word? Now, some of these have made it in because, yes, they started out as abbreviations, but you can say them. Lols. It's like, you know, GPs now in lots of dictionaries. That one is much harder to say.
That's right. In fact, you can't ruffle more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can I just quickly get this in? Because we're looking at this board game, you know, with the advent of all the games and technology we have, computer games, game apps, etc. What's going on with the board games? Why are we seeing this resurgence in...
I think there's a couple of things going on. I think there's a nostalgia thing going on. People like things that have got historical value and that are stylish from the past. And I also think everybody now is doing most of their life online, on their mobile phone, tweeting their friends, going on Facebook, etc., etc. But I think this is a way of getting the family and friends sitting around the table, talking and communicating. So I think it's becoming much more of a social event again. You know, you sit down, you make a cup of tea, or if you're with your friends, you get a bottle of beer out, you get your crisps, your sweets, and you have some fun.
Bringing everybody back to one room.
Bringing everybody back into one room to sit down as a family event.
But also, every country in the world that uses the Roman alphabet can buy this box of Scrabble and use it at home. They don't have to speak the language we're speaking, just the alphabet. I don't know how long we've got left, because I want to ask you a personal question. Just 15 seconds. Does he speak a different language to me?
I would say probably not.
You think?
Although he's obviously got a strange
His
accent.
people have words that I don't understand.
Did you say Australian or strange?
Strange.
Words sound the same.
We do have to wrap it up. But you know, the language protectors, they can be fighting this, but you can't stop it, can you?
You cannot protect the English language. It is always going to change.
Great.
In France, they have the Academy of Language. It protects their language.
Yeah. And how many people speak French?
Yeah. Well,
look at how many people speak English.
Elaine, thank you very, very much for
Pleasure.
coming.
Thank you.
Really,
and
really
you've got
interesting.
the official Scrabble book right there. Where are we? You can follow me on Twitter. You can tweet me. I'll tweet you back. I'll try to do some English. I'll give you some of these new words. I'm at BBC Aaron. That's it with the biz. It's all over to you now.
Yeah, we've got more coming up on GMTs, so do stay with us after this break. I'm back with more.